Özgür Eker, Rockstick, I'm first AWP player, in-game leader, lurker, entry fragger, I'm doing everything in team.
Birds Bence, Dead Fox, secondary oper.
Karasev Kirill, Angel, third oper, in-game leading, entry fragger.
Isa Murad, Isa entry flagging for the team.
Vladislav Nicheparchuk, Bondik, entry fragger.
Ondřej Ejo Šťastný, support.
Sebastian Bistík, Daniel Rifler.
Tomáš Tomkej Stomka, in-game leader.
Lukáš Kapsen Koláčný, oper.
Luboš Tusiak, entry fragger.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. My name is Hugo, and today I'm with Tom. We do have the first game of the day kicking off in just a few minutes as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hellraisers versus Dark Tigers.
Yeah, well, it's a game where I think we have a clear favorite. It's going to be pretty much all the way through. I think there's a few maybe closer games coming up a little bit later in the groups, but this one I'm sort of looking at going, I don't know really what to expect from Dark Tigers, and obviously Hellraisers going into this clear favorites, high firepower lineup as well. So I feel like it's going to be very, very difficult to sort of even out-pug them or anything. You're just going to have a little bit more of a tactical read. But the one strong thing is I highly doubt that Hellraisers have come into this going, yeah, you know what? Well, we've done loads of research. We know all about our opponents. So there's the surprise factor. I think that's the one thing that Dark Tigers do have.
Well, I mean, obviously not that they would do that coming into this event, but I'm looking at Dark Tigers. They're not a team that have played a lot, at least with this five-man roster as of late. You know, to get here, they qualified through 2 best-of-3s, and realistically, we haven't seen a huge amount of games from this team. So we're not really sure what to expect, and that's definitely going to be the same for Hellraisers as well. You know, they're not going to come into this one going, okay, we know their playstyle, we know how they like to approach these maps, and you know, while it's not the best-of-1 format that allows for a lot of upsets, like they said on the desk, 2 best-of-1s essentially is the format. You know, each game is its own entity. You don't need to take like in a best-of-3 getting 2 map wins, right? You can just split maps potentially and get yourself a point. There's always a chance to get out of the group. But yeah, for this game, it's going to be a very difficult affair for Dark Tigers.
Yeah, and also like normally in this sort of process as well is the banning down to getting to like those sort of end maps is normally quite horrific because you always going to sort of end up on a map that Hellraisers are going to be fairly happy to play.
Yeah.
And I think that always sort of benefits in terms of these better teams is that they are just going to be able to get rid of like a couple of maps. And normally when you sort of look at, okay, best-of-3 stage, then there'll be most of the sort of, even like, well, maybe not the very, very top teams, but they'll have 2 maps that they don't really like. So you can sort of try and be a little bit more of an upset on one of them where you're like, okay, we'll pick a map they don't really play, we'll try and surprise them. Here they don't have that luxury. It's just going to be like, well, no matter what, Hellraisers are going to be happy to play the map. So they're just going to have to basically show, okay, we are up to the standard. And maybe there's a chance that if they can slow down some of these high firepower players. The problem is, I know for a fact that sort of Woxic is they're going to be going into this full of confidence. Like we've already seen it. So today he didn't look like he was even breaking a sweat. So I think that this is just one of those scenarios where we could see Dark Tigers getting absolutely bodied.
Well, let's hope that's not the case. Let's hope we have a competitive game. So welcome, first match of the day. Best-of-2 format, and we're kicking things off on cobblestone here. Hellraisers on the CT side and Dark Tigers kicking things off on the terrorist top.
Already, actually a double kit setup for the Hellraisers. Quite peculiar. You don't normally see more than 1 kit, so a little bit of extra utility because of that. But it does mean that these Glocks have a little bit more of a chance to do some damage. Tom's going to be there with the smoke, already just rushing straight into drop, but this has started things off with a couple of kills. Angel with another, and Bondik looking to shut this down.
Yeah, not a good round so far for Dark Tigers. They got completely overwhelmed down in the drop down, and Angel even spotting out that play through long, saw those nades going over the top of the B bomb site, and from then on, Hellraisers were so prepared for the push. 1 man left, he's already being flanked. Look at the confidence here. Ewo, he's going to get 1 frag, but Angel will finish him off, and that's Hellraisers picking up the pistol. Yeah,
fairly dominant from them as well, so we'll see what they go for investing into the second round. I'm looking to see how confident they really are. Are we going to have any rifles? Is it just going to be flat SMGs trying to make as much money as possible? There'll be 1. Dead Fox will pick up the FAMAS, but other than that, it is just a chance to make up as much money as humanly possible. And on the T side, well, we've got CZs, we've got Deagles. What more do you expect?
Yeah, it's Cobblestone. You're always going to see a second round force here. Although, maybe it will have a little bit more effect than we expected. B-Stick's already dropped Woxic, but again, as you mentioned, Tom, with these SMGs being in play across the majority of Hellraisers, they're not guns that Dark Tigers can pick up and utilize to a good extent. They're going to have probably just preference over these, Deagles and CZs rather than trying to utilize that MP9. But look at this aggression. Hellraisers are bringing in something to spice up the round. They pushed up towards danger. Dark Tigers still holding fairly passive outside of long for the time being. So Hellraisers going to walk right into this. There's the second kill. Things are starting to look very worrying now. Deadfox going to begin to trade things back, but he's got players coming from the back lines. He's got to do some more damage, and he can't.
Already getting overwhelmed. The only man left over towards this A side of the map is going to be Issa. They've already got past him. He's going to be peeking back around, picks up one already. Has to be careful. The bomb has gone over to the site. He has a little bit of utility to try and expend and getting flanked as well. Actually, quite a lot of low players over on this T side. There's still a decent chance for Hellraisers to bring this back, but now Angel left. Only 6 HP, and eventually he will fall as well. Nice break back from Dark Tigers, and they'll probably be the one, unless we see a break back again, to get off to that stronger start, and on the T side as well.
Yeah, Hellraisers forcing things up, though. They don't want to let this one go down without a fight. But yeah, good stuff for Dark Tigers to actually get themselves on this board pretty early into the game. It's always a shame when you see an underdog lose pistol and you can just see a 5-0, 7-0 down after just 1 or 2 buy rounds. It's always quite worrying, but Dark Tigers been given a great opportunity here. Hellraisers now forced up pistols, CZs, Deagle on Issa. But by and large, Dark Tigers just holding their default for the time being. We've got players holding the drop-down boost. We've got men up in mid, not giving Hellraisers too many options for aggression that was shown in the previous round with Woxic pushing up towards that A-bomb site. And I think Hellraisers have realized it as well. They're not showing any presence across the entirety of the map. We do have Woxic still aggressive on long, but not going to be peeking into the holding members of Dark Tigers. And while time ticks down, they still have a fair bit of utility, at least up on Caspen, to make it execute happen.
Yeah, the one thing they have to be careful with, though, is not giving too much sort of time to run out for the CT side, because the lower that clock gets, the more sort of skeptical you get, the more worried you get in these positions. They're going to start their way over towards the A site. They do have Deadfox still up close, and they've got a little bit of utility still to expend, at least over towards B. We're getting down to that 40-second marker. T's definitely looking like they're going to execute towards this side. Jump comes up. They're going to try and go for a little bit of a boost over the top of the smoke, but won't spot anything yet. And now it's starting to get a bit scary. Only 30 seconds left as they make their move.
Yeah, and they haven't spotted these two Hellraisers players pushed up on long. They're going to bypass it by going through mid, but Woxic already wall-banged out. Deadfox going to respond, but only with a single kill. It's a man on the site that can't get anything done. Bondic dead as well, and Hellraisers are falling apart on this A-bomb site. It seemed like they had everything going for them, but Dark Tigers fighting back with their second round. The bomb's down. Angel's already forced out at the bomb site, and with that, it's going to be a 2-1 here to the T side.
Yeah, decent start, and, well, obviously not going to be much into the next round for Hellraisers anyway, so Dark Tigers will have the chance to build up a little bit of extra money, and very important for them, I feel, to get off to a stronger start. I was worried, obviously, after the pistol goes the way of Hellraisers, that they may just look to actually try and run away with this very early on, get the economy going on that CT side, and that's where Cobble really gets scary, when you have all those smokes, those incendiaries to stop pushes onto plat. Things can sort of spiral out of control, and we can actually see a decent CT half. However, if they can do what they're doing now, keep the economy a little bit low, maybe even keep that AWP away from Woxic, which is such a crucial part of this Hellraisers team, then maybe Dark Tigers can actually steal away a map, or maybe even 2.
I don't want to count them out again. This is a team that we haven't seen anything from coming into this event. We have low expectations, but that means the same for Hellraisers. They're not going to be at least prepared. So maybe Dark Tigers can surprise us. They should be up to 3 rounds here on the T side, with Hellraisers having very little into this round. It's only that saved CZ. Everyone else, default pistols, and we've already seen Dark Tigers again, the slow-paced T side approach. Nothing too fancy at the moment, and Hellraisers obviously stacked this A-bomb site. This is a kind of round where you want to pull in a stack, you want to try and surprise Dark Tigers. If you run a default 3 on B and 2 on A with just USPs, you're going to get completely massacred. So Hellraisers trying to play aggressive positions towards mid and long, catching out Dark Tigers if they do so opt to go there.
Yeah, this is a round where really it should just be the SMG just probing around the map, looking to try and find where this stack is, because it's fairly likely, and especially considering the B site's normally the more heavily stacked of the 2 anyway, I always feel like a B site stack is a little bit pointless. So, well, the T's, they are now making their way towards this B site. Only one man there. Bondic will be sat ready and waiting just to try and spot them out already. Rotation starting to come back in. The question is now, do the CTs really want to challenge too much? Of course, they don't want to allow Dark Tigers to just walk away with a load of weapons and have a load of money going into the next round. At the same time, do they really want to allow them to farm up a huge amount of money with the SMG?
Oh, already it's the FAMAS chasing, so that won't be an issue. Bondic trades back for one, but probably just going to look to save that weapon into the next round. Hellraisers money, not in the best of spots, obviously. They've got a bit of loss bonus to play with now. So obviously the full buy coming through here for the CT side. But Dark Tigers, they've taken pretty convincing rounds, Tom. That's one of the big things so far. Obviously it's mainly been anti-ecos, but Hellraisers haven't been putting up the most amount of damage so far this map in terms of the last 2 rounds, and that's not going to change here as well. We may have some fight going down on long, some damage done. Angel trades back one again, but he's just trying to keep Dark Tigers in the sight. He's just not letting them leave. They'll finally finish them off, and as I say that, Dark Tigers, they only keep 2 alive.
Some sparks on the stage.
I like it. Fancy.
3-1. FAMAS will be saved, so Bondic will at least have a little bit of extra money. And Voxic, there we go. Glass Cannon AWP. The first AWP in the server. As you mentioned, the T-side have actually made some early cash, so they'll be able to buy into the next round anyway, no matter what happens here. And even if they just make things costly for Hellraisers, that could be enough to at least make things a little bit more interesting when it comes to the next couple of rounds. A-site setup, fairly heavily based around Voxic, and he will actually spot the man jumping across. But in terms of the actual hold from the T side, they're clearly waiting for a little bit more over towards the B side of the map. Quite a bit of utility for the CTs to at least slow them down. They've invested heavily into smokes, which in terms of this map, it really can take away so much control from Dark Tigers, not allow them to sort of aggressively push these positions, not allow them to take map control. Issa, well, ooh, he's going to get something done through the smoke. That's not the way the Dark Tigers wanted to start off this round. CT side can now look to just fall back a little bit, take some more passive positions and try to trade effectively.
Yeah, and time ticking down as well, 1 minute on the clock. We do have Tom worked his way into the drop down, but other than that, Dark Tigers are going to pull their players back towards the A site. Tom here just looking to try and split through the connector, or at least cause a distraction and B, and maybe force a rotate off of that A bomb site. But still, we have Dead Fox there, not for long. EO's already taking him down, and Woxic's going to fall back to the back of the site. Rotation's coming in the form of Bondic, and now we're going to need to see someone step up here from Dark Tigers. The time is low, 30 seconds on the clock. Bondic mollied out of position, and Woxic going to start his defense. 1 kill from the site with the AWP, and Angel even catches Ewo moving through the connector as well. It's got to be down to Caspen and Tom, a 2-on-4.
And there's only 20 seconds left on the clock with 2 players on the site. This is going to be very difficult indeed. Issa actually starting his rotation back, and while they're just cleaning things up, the bomb is left alone, 25 HP, and Hellraisers will win themselves a second round on the board. 3 players surviving as well. AWP kept into the next, and of course Bondic already had a little bit of extra cash. But I like this. T-side, well, I don't know if this is tactical. Can't actually tell. But if it is, I wouldn't actually mind that. They're going to a buy round. Of course, it's integral that they, as said, get off to a stronger start and don't allow the CTs to build into this. And this is actually a perfect opportunity to reset them very early on in this game.
Yeah, I think we definitely needed a little more from Dark Tigers in that previous round. Tom's position was so good in terms of having that drop-down control, but we saw, obviously, EO move into the connector from the A-bomb site, and that's when he got caught out by the rotation. And I feel like if Tom was there at least to trade that straight back, we could have seen Dark Tigers find that round. But still, they're in the lead, and they can find the reset to Hellraisers. So this buy is going to be pretty important here. AWP is something I'm excited to see as well on this Dark Tigers roster. See how Caspen can contend with the AWP of Woxic. That's certainly not an easy challenge. Definitely one of the star AWPers. But we are back in. Tactical pause is done here for Dark Tigers, and hopefully we'll see something interesting as well.
Yeah, CT side, full utility now. So this is where, as you said, it's going to be so important for the Ts to try and bounce back as soon as possible. I think if they allow Hellraisers to sort of get themselves a win, then have that pistol round in the next, that can be where this game can just run away from them. So much talent in this Hellraisers roster, and already a little bit of early damage done by the utility. T-side playing very passive. And this is a lot of the time what an AWP will be used for. It's sort of to counter any aggression that Hellraisers are going to throw in. And I feel like on Cobble, especially for the CT side, aggression is normally just made because you need to try and take portions of the map away. You need to try and gain that information. Dev Fox. It doesn't actually spot the T pushing towards the stairs, so a decent position already held by Dark Tigers. The CT side are actually all going to fall back towards the site itself and play a little bit more passively. And a lot of the time, this is what a more experienced team would do versus Dark Tigers, or versus a lesser team in sense, because if you sort of sit back towards the site and you force this team to try and execute onto you, a lot of the time they can just panic. And also a lot of the time, with such individual talent, Hellraisers may not have a problem.
Ooh, missed shot though on long. May give some information, some misinformation in the way of Hellraisers. They can't afford to rotate a man over because they've already got this B play about to come through. Smoke beginning to dissipate. We've seen a lot of late round executes for Dark Tigers, but this one has to work out. Here comes the push. Issa hiding in the corner. They won't check it. He sprays one frag, trades straight back, and Angel's on the site to do some damage. They bypass him, and he gets a shot to the back of Tom. Still holding onto the site, still not peeking, and there's only 15 seconds left. They need to make a move onto the bomb site. They need to get this plant in now, but the cross is held, and the round is saved. Hellraisers, another one in the bag.
Yeah, good job from Angel, especially getting the kills, but also staying alive. That's the more important thing there. He doesn't allow for the bomb to go down. I was quite surprised that Issa actually only gets one, because most of the players there are actually completely blind. So I think the Dark Tigers actually got let off a little bit there, but this is the sort of scenario I was talking about. 3 players alive for Hellraisers again. The T side, they can't afford to invest into this one properly, so it's just going to be a few pistols and attempt to do some damage, and I think it's important they do, because too many more rounds in a row for Hellraisers, and again, on this CT side, things could get very scary indeed. But here we go. Fast push coming in towards this A site. T's leading the way with a pistol. Woxic will already start, and actually they are going to manage to overwhelm their AWP. Caps and the AWP for the team as well has managed to retrieve it, and they're doing a fair bit of damage here. Already 2 players dropped, a bomb plant in a pistol round, but Bondik is just looking to clean this up. It is left onto just Caps, and he gets dunked, and it will be, again, 3 players surviving, but all in all, pistols invested, that money gets covered by the bomb going down, or at least the majority of it, and they take down a couple of players. That's not a bad round.
Yeah, sadly, you know, taking 3 players down, at least for Dark Tigers, would mean Hellraisers would have to rebuy the majority of the guns instead of dropping things over, but 2 players is certainly nothing to turn your nose up at. And that AWP as well coming into this round, so Bomb Plant having a big effect in terms of allowing this buy for Caspian. We'll see if he can get anything done into this one as well. It's going to be the same default Dark Tigers have been showing. They've got to be careful, though, on long. We've already seen Hellraisers do some damage in through the smokes. Woxic on the side with the AWP as well, constantly switching up his position, as he's known to do. And Dark Tigers just starting to take a little bit more map control. We have Tom pushed up towards long, at least for the time being. Mid being held as well, but Dead Fox is there with support from Angel. So a very dangerous setup. If Dark Tigers go towards middle, which does look to be the case, they could be walking into their death.
Again, lots of utility being expended to try and do some early damage to Dark Tigers. They haven't taken too much of a hit, though. Not much of a problem just yet. CT side, again, still yet to build up a bank that would really worry Dark Tigers this early in the game, but they themselves have actually expended quite a bit of their utility. Okay, they still have a couple of smokes, or just the singular now, and some Molotovs, but to actually get onto this A site, all we're really going to be looking at is to try and smoke off that door and sort of burst in. Dead Fox still going to be holding over towards long, has support from Angel, and a 3rd player in the form of Bondik starting to make his rotation back, but now the push begins. T side looking to get onto A.
Yeah, no utility really left here for Dark Tigers. They've got to find the kills, and they will. Everyone grabbing a frag on the A-bomb site. Bondik's rotated back in through, but he's too little too late. A man's already made his way to the cubby, and Bondik's not going to realize shot to the back of the head from B-Stick, and with that, the round, that's done and dusted. Woxic, he can try and look for kills on this B-bomb site, but he's already being flanked from the connector. Yeah, he's going to get overrun. Nothing he can do. And Dark Tigers, a flawless round onto that A-bomb site. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, and the thing about that now is we talk about the amount of damage they were able to do over the last couple of rounds, and the CT side's buy is going to be dwindling. They'll have the AWP, a rifle still into the hands of Bondik as well, but yeah, the other players, SMGs and a trusty CZ to try and break back, and the T side now with a flawless buy and some extra cash to go into the next round with if things do go wrong. Now, for their sake, I'm hoping that they're able to break this buy back and send Hellraisers onto pistols, but if they can do that, then actually there is a chance that they can now push on forward with this half and get themselves, what, 6 or 7 rounds?
And they're already looking to be. Look how early this is. Dark Tigers finally speeding up the pace, and they'll catch the first frag as well. It's trading back from long. 2 kills with the UMP and smoke down, but he's got to pull out the USP. Doesn't matter. Bondik's there. And somehow Hellraisers pull it back with some kills of their own. It's only EO left alone, but he's not falling into the drop down. For him to fall now would make noise. She's got to be very careful with that. Will decide to fall on back, but the bomb is still dropped in the favor of Hellraisers.
There's actually a chance that he could find himself a 1v1 duel here. Bondik is going to be spotting over towards the plat. Sees his opponent, which will mean that DevFox can now rotate and goes for the fight, but actually loses it. And DevFox only there with an SMG, but he goes pushing through. Breaks straight back again. As said, though, the T's do have enough money to buy into this round, and obviously doing so much damage in that one that the CT side actually are still going to be in a similar scenario. I think it'll be slightly better, maybe a rifle or two more. But there'll still be SMGs and there'll still be limitations. So Hellraisers definitely aren't out of the doghouse just yet. Yeah,
this is a ridiculously close game so far. I'm actually impressed at Dark Tigers. They've shown at least, ability on this A site, especially. The B site seems to be a little bit weaker for them so far, but these very slow-paced executes. They've been walking into sites with 5-on-5 zone, and that's one of the things that needs to change. They need to start at least opening up with the pick. And Hellraiser's not really giving them too many options to do so. DevFox spotting on long, going to fall back, nade through to try and at least do some damage as they chase him down, but they won't find too much. Instead, the AWP rotates on Woxic, so we now have a big bolstered defense on this A-bomb site from Hellraisers. Dark Tigers certainly looking to execute still, but with one man outside of B, it could potentially be either a fallback or that drop-down control that we saw at least from Tom earlier on in the game to try and split towards that A-bomb site. Certainly an option here for Dark Tigers, and they are grouped up towards the A site, at least through long for the time being, so this seems like the push is about to come in.
I'm really surprised, actually, by how passive Hellraisers are being, but they're still going to find that opener. Woxic want to go rotating back towards the side itself, and an elevated angle, gets himself a second already, does damage onto a third, and, well, this is the man you have to fear at the moment on this team. Beast will be able to find one. Actually gets a second as well, doing lots of damage himself, and somehow this has turned back to a 2v2. Angel still with only a pistol, and a long rotation coming in from Issa, neither of them with a kit.
Well, here's the utility as well. Hellraisers have nothing to play with here. They've got to get something done soon. Time ticking away. Angel working his way up through mid. He has scavenged a weapon off of the floor, so at least better equipped for this job. But Dark Tigers still not shown their face, still not shown exactly where they're playing on the bomb site. Caspen hiding, and Tommy's going to go force a frag. He does. There's a kill to Angel. Double down from Tom. And that'll be the round saved by Dark Tigers. It seemed like Hellraisers had the defense. Woxic hitting his shots, but it will be Dark Tigers pulling it back in the 2-on-2.
Yeah, now money-wise, this is sort of the worst-case scenario for Hellraisers. They're left with literally nothing. They've just got to invest with pistols. Getting 1900 into the next round would have, well, they would have had an SMG on a couple of players and bare bones rifles on the rest, so not really worth, like, sort of saving for the next. And yeah, now there is a chance for Dark Tigers to sort of get a bit more done on their T side. The problem is, last time that they got into this scenario, they didn't then get that sort of free round. They threw it away. It was won by the SMG up close, and obviously Angel on the site with the rifle. So they need to actually pick this round up. And I do think it's very important for Dark Tigers just in general that they basically get more rounds on this T side, because I think on the CT side is where things will get much more difficult, and there's so much firepower on this Hellraisers rosters, and even sort of the players who may not necessarily be the stars of this team, they've always been like sort of fans of this map. Angel, very good at cobblestone. The same can be said for Bondik as well, in sort of all of the old rosters that he played in, like when he was in Flipside, when he even in the sort of older iterations of Hellraisers as well. This is a map that he was very happy to play. So there's nobody on this team where I'm looking at and going, yeah, no, they won't be happy playing cobblestone. And also if Woxic or Issa just explodes into the map, I think Dark Tigers are screwed.
And that's the thing, something you mentioned last round as well. Hellraisers, they're not playing as aggressive as we know their team to do so. Obviously this is still a fairly close game, so they might not want to throw away opportunities for themselves, but they are playing very reserved. And when we switch things over to the T side, they don't have the option. They have to play aggressive, and that's exactly what this team is at least good at. Their T side's very strong. But we're still on that first half. Dark Tigers fully equipped for this one. No AWP coming through. Force buy for Hellraisers to try and contend with this, but realistically, they're just trying to game that loss bonus at the moment, try and wait for their buy to come through and potentially what could be the 12th or 13th round, depending on how they go forward. It should be this, then the eco.
You say that. We are currently in CZ Go. Every single player on the team has one.
That's why I questioned it, Tom. You never know.
It's one of those scenarios where I feel like at the moment there's no safe rounds.
No.
So...
I'm not sure if this round is live.
No, they've just written drop, so yeah.
That's fine.
Rest in peace, computer.
Yeah, no one's taking any damage, so that won't be an issue. We'll get that round restarted. It's always nice when that happens in a non-important situation as well. So I'm sure we'll get that fixed in just a second. But yeah, Dark Tigers looking like they were going to go for some kind of B approach there. So that'll be a story for another day, Tom.
Yeah, I'm hoping something's going to happen, because at the moment the clock's just ticking down.
Free round for Hellraisers?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the CZs are good, Tom, but...
Hey, I'm scared of them, so just don't push. Just sit back. Just relax.
It's like the Na'Vi, but one step too far, where they just don't even push the bomb.
Well, they did that. This is what I would call the Pronex godsend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, basically just let the time tick out and lose the round.
Or the team won.
Yeah, but they actually, you say that, they actually did all right.
Yeah, I know, but at least in the ECS qualifiers, they just held top mid for like a good 80 seconds every round and then pushed the site. I think they were better in WSG.
Did they get through in ECS?
No, they lost in the last match. Hate to see it, but either way.
So did Na'Vi, interestingly.
Yeah, let's just not talk about that.
Or should I say SK?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That team could be so sick if that happens. Or it will be awful.
There's no middle ground.
No, there's
I mean, they'll be playing in NA, I assume, so that, that's not really...
Easy win.
Yeah, the highest level of competition.
I'll be interested to see if it works, because, like, obviously we got FaZe here. They are sort of the groundbreaking team that have done this. Like, they've thrown a team. I suppose we've got every single one of the teams that have attempted, like, a sort of a mixed nations team.
Yeah.
And we got... Or at least the three, VP. I would say, yeah, cool. The three that I would say have been most successful with it. Like, you look at Hellraisers, you look at Mousesports, and of course FaZe. So if SK now do that, that could be ridiculously scary. And I'm so excited to see if that does happen, the sort of double AWP setup, or even they could throw in a triple AWP setup.
No.
Like, you say that if you give simple, Fallen, and Cold Zero an AWP, and you lose the round, I don't know what's happened. Like, I'd say that you'd win that round
every time.
Sure. Unless maybe you are against FaZe.
I do hope it happens. I really do hope it happens. Just for the sake of entertainment, just for itself, that'd be really fun. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about some of the teams in this event and at least what's to come, right? We've obviously got, you mentioned them, FaZe and Mousesports, the other two European mixed rosters for this event. And are you sitting with the comfortable idea of FaZe being able to take the victory here, or do you think this could be another upset with Mousesports? We've seen it happen before. Mousesports have certainly looked good.
I think they definitely could. I feel like it's unlikely. I feel like most people are looking at this and just going, this is a paycheck for FaZe.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, at the same time, I feel like realistically, Mousesports have looked very good over the last few months. I think this is definitely the best iteration of this team that we've ever seen, including the one with Nico in it. Like, there's no doubt that this one is better. And yeah, I think that they've been very impressive, and they've definitely got the talent on the lineup. And also, there's just that sort of stigma of FaZe hitting grand finals and just not being able to take it. Those are the two teams that if I was going to like put my money on, they should be the ones in the final. Never know what to expect with Virtus Pro.
No,
I just have no idea. I do think there's the potential for Hellraisers to sort of cause some upsets along the way. And actually, for me at least, I'm very excited to see Extardus as well. Because there is a team like, they've obviously got the problem of now Frozen not being able to play in a lot of the sort of online stuff that they're able to do. I still feel like that's like the harshest thing of all time, which is like, hey, Frozen, if you win, you can't play in Pro League. But if you lose, you now can't play in MDL either. Like, that was just the most ridiculous thing. It was like, so why am I here? It's like, I'm just helping out my team. Like, it's sort of the same situation for Fragsters, I suppose, as well with Stown, where it's like, if you manage to get through into Pro League, you can't play.
but at least he is here. That's the good thing, right? Frozen is ready to rock the house, at least with Extardus. I'm excited to see that team. Definitely of all the non-top 4 teams, at least at this event, in the sense of Hellraisers, Mousesports, FaZe, and VP, that is my next team to look out for, at least Extardus. That is a team I think could do the most work.
I think they're more likely to get out of the group than VP.
Yeah, I would get behind that.
Because I just have, like, VP have been so ridiculously inconsistent. And, like, I think me, who, like, coming into that team has definitely looked strong. Like, no doubt about that. It's just who's stepping up with him. That's the problem. Like, sometimes it's Bialy. Like, he's had those moments where it's like, oh, maybe Bialy's coming back. But there's just so many players on that team where, okay, if they have a good game, then, yeah, realistically, they may be able to take down anyone in this tournament. The problem is, it's been so long now since I've actually seen that. Like, we look towards like Star Series and you're like, they should have been eliminated by MVP, which is a team that never should be getting anywhere near Virtus Pro. Like, okay, granted, MVP did also have a similar match versus Fnatic. like over at WSG, but at the same time, it was like they did it in the first map and then got absolutely obliterated in the second when it came down to Inferno. So you would then look at it and go, okay, well, Fnatic clearly maybe just didn't have a particularly good map, and MVP definitely did show up and threw in some interesting sort of strategies. But then with Virtus Pro, it was like they lost a map for starters, and then they should have lost the second one. So you're like, realistically, you should have been out of the tournament.
One of my favorite things about this event as well is we've got VP and XCOM in the same group, so we get to see who is the best Polish team, because obviously, you know, on paper it's VP, right? But
on paper it's AGO.
Well, yeah, of course. You could definitely make the argument of AGO at the moment. Obviously, we've not seen them play each other LAN in you know, a top tier event, but definitely in terms of recent performance, AGO without a doubt. But I mean, AGO, they got beaten by this exact team when they were under Venatores to get here. XCOM managed to knock them out 2-1, and Kingwin as well, if I recall. So pretty impressive wins from a team that, you know, we haven't really seen play this tier of event. Now they're going to be going up against the best in the world, and obviously VP alongside that as well. Definitely a chance to take the throne, I think.
Yeah, it is definitely not as prestigious a throne as it used to be.
No, being VP, yeah. I think I could do that with a pug.
Oh, wow, okay.
We
I
are
won't go
back
that
in.
far.
We are back in. Let's stop the rambling. Thank you for sticking with us. Hellraisers now back on that force buy that we saw earlier on. Dark Tigers, they have the rifles. No AWP, but against pistols, that's not always the best of options. And again, the same setup for Dark Tigers. Default outside of B with 3 players in the bomb. Hellraisers not getting too aggressive, but they have presence outside of A long at the very least.
Yeah, we'll just be spotting, so that they can go a little bit heavier over towards this A side of the map, and Bondik will just support him from drop. Still got a little bit of utility just to try and slow things down, but it has to be held on to really for Hellraisers. They need to use it perfectly if it is going to have any impact in this round. Of course, T side, they want to try and keep these next couple of rounds as clean as possible. They have an inherent advantage. They've got far more in terms of utility and weaponry, so really they don't want to lose anything, and you definitely don't want to hand a rifle over to any player on that Hellraisers roster, because at any moment any of them can explode. Either way, Issa, he's going to be left alone. Spots out the push, does manage to get the smoke down, but surely the T's are just going to go running straight through it. He has absolutely no support, and you do have to wonder whether the CTs may just want to hold on to their weapons. Eventually Issa will be removed from the site, and yeah, I think CT side just try and keep their pistols. I think Angel may go down. Actually manages to win the battle, and that is a rifle into his hands, so that's a bonus. He can also give that CZ over to Issa in the next, and yeah, that's all right for Hellraisers. They get another chance. It's not going to be like a completely clean round either for the T side, but it will still be a bit of a bonus, and yeah, into the next they'll still have something to play with at least.
Yeah, Dark Tigers definitely have to be careful on not chasing down that gun, because look at the amount of Hellraisers players outside in these B halls. If Dark Tigers push their way down long like they're beginning to do, they're going to walk into a complete crossfire with 4 players of Hellraisers here. This is going to be dangerous. Angel's ready at the back lines. We've got players close up to take the bait, and Angel peeks. Trey comes straight through, but we have so many CTs here, so much damage being done, and Dark Tigers, they will win the round, but they only keep 1 player alive. That definitely could have been better.
Yeah, at least they do remove a lot of those pistols, so the chance for damage in the next is fairly slim, but that's not a good round. There's so many players exiting through the same point, and, well, Bondik even going to have an AK-47. If they even drop, say, 2 or 3 players in this round, which is quite an ask considering what's invested, they also haven't picked up the CZ, which is a bit weird. I wonder if that's just a mistake. But either way, look at the aggression from Bondik. Going to be pushing all the way up towards this drop position. So aggressive. Already picks up 1 and manages to fall back to the side itself. But now the push comes in over towards the A site. Completely overwhelmed. Bondik will try and get back in time. And he may actually be able to cross, or at least hold the cross. A nice shot as well.
This may be happening here. Hellraisers, man advantage. Still no weaponry apart from Bondik and Angel, and no armor on anyone else either. But look at Angel's position. He's worked his way up into the B hall. He's going to get shut down by Tom. And now Dark Tigers may reconsider. They may fall back towards his B bomb site. The bomb's still on A for the time being. But Hellraisers have been drawn. They've been baited over to this B bomb site, only for it to be an A play. Capson still sits here with the bomb. And Tom, he's just trying to hold these Hellraisers players at the bay for the time being. They will push down long right as he moves away. So that's awkward timing. But still, I don't think Hellraisers realize exactly what's going on. They've even brought a 3rd player over as well, but this bomb still sits in mid, and Beastic holds onto the site. Everyone is confused right now.
Yeah, the T side haven't crossed yet, so Issa will gain all the information if that bomb goes to cross. 30 seconds left on the clock. He won't be able to deny it, only a USP. He'd have to pull off some sort of miracle, and Capson is now just going to make his way across. Not going to be anything that they can do. And again, Bondik may just want to hold on to this AK-47. DevFox has found another, so there's at least a huge amount of money that's going to be just made up into this next round. And also, Woxic already saving for the AWP. This should be a pretty good buy. If Issa can even drop one person here, he's going to make even just rebuying into the next round a bit more difficult for Dark Tigers. So yeah, these last couple of rounds, although they've won them, and although they're now up to like 7 rounds on the T side, they haven't been convincing.
I mean, the early rounds are really good as well. That's the crazy thing. They're taking them very cleanly, even into the first couple of buys. But yeah, since then, it's definitely been dangerous. That being said, 3 staying alive for Dark Tigers. I don't think that's going to change. Issa can't find anything as they exit back towards long. So the 7th round found. He's going to look to try and scavenge a gun on this A-bomb site, see if there's anything left down in middle. Could be good, but there's nothing there. So the lead taken by 2. Hellraisers back on the buy. I'm very excited by this one as well. They will have everything they need in terms of weaponry. Full rifles. AWP is an option as well. Woxic will be pulling that in with the armor as well. And Dark Tigers still not picking up their own AWP. We've already talked about the players they've been losing in these rounds, and it's showing there's no money left up for this T side. 1 round away from essentially what would be a reset by Hellraisers. But at least lots of utility, and most of that being used out onto this B site early on. We have Hellraisers with a 3-man setup here. Aggression in mid for some information as well taken, and Dark Tigers just going to be a quick execute to this B bomb site.
On the site itself, they've still got to deal with Angel. Picks up, instantly loses his life, and actually, a few kills coming in. Bondik is quickly removed as well, and Dark Tigers have decimated the B hold. The CT side don't really have much choice but to try and just hold on to their weaponry. They will have a loss bonus of 2,900 going into the next, and they do also have Angel and Issa with some extra money, so we'll probably see a buy coming back in from them. But yeah, half now taken by Dark Tigers, and what was a few sort of sketchy rounds in a row, a faster pace play, and Hellraisers completely overwhelmed.
Yeah, this is getting very, very worrying now for Hellraisers. Such a confident round from Dark Tigers. And I like the switching of pace as well, going from these very slow defaults where they're kind of just working up to a bomb site with 20 seconds left to just executing straight onto B. Definitely the change of pace is something that Hellraisers aren't expecting with their utility being already down on long. Their smokes and Molotovs. And Dark Tigers just going right through them as they fade, sorry. 8-5 up now for this current T side, and now we go into another awkward buy for Hellraisers. What do they do here? They can commit to the rifles, they can get a buy up, but in terms of utility, in terms of kits, that's going to be something that they may be lacking.
Yeah, I think they should be okay in this situation. I'd be very surprised if they didn't buy.
Oh yeah, they definitely buy.
But yeah, already half going the way of Dark Tigers. That's more than I expected going into this map of Cobblestone. And yeah, I feel like this half has just been plagued by economy issues for Hellraisers, and they never really seem to have built into it. A lot of their sort of star players, or there hasn't really been one. It's been everybody sort of chipping in, but they've each individually been fairly quiet. And over on the other side, Dark Tigers are definitely giving them a run for their money. So here we go. Fairly decent buy. I'd say it's actually not too problematic at all. They've still got the AWP, of course, and utility on every single player. Only a singular kit, although they could have afforded another one, so I suppose that's more just a choice. And we're going to see that early smoke thrown in from Woxic just to allow them a little bit more control over towards that plat position.
Yeah, this needs to be around for Hellraisers. This half, well, already looking slightly out of control. It could spiral here for Dark Tigers. DevFox, timing going to get him on long. He moves away right as these T's begin to push their way up towards this A-bomb site. Now it's going to be him spotting the player in mid, but does he realize they're all right behind him? Already taken down Tom, now needs to fall back for more, but Capson trades straight away, so back into a 4-on-4. Dark Tigers, they won't commit with that, because look at the position of one man taken in the drop down. He's trying to hold off rotations, but he misses his shot. Angel going to get spotted, and EO with a really good opportunity to actually get something done. If he can walk to this pretty much empty B bomb site and find a frag, that could open up the round here for Dark Tigers once again.
Over the bomb now being dropped into middle gives a decent amount of information over to this CT side. They will be able to retrieve it. Issa spots out one. It's a wild spray, but he gets the kill nonetheless, and the smoke still holding back anything more. And now Dark Tigers are sort of in a difficult position, as there's no real safe bet. There's going to be 2 players on either side. Angel actually starting to rotate back just to try and spot towards drop. He has to be fairly careful, of course, because Issa is left on just 8 HP, going to try and just hold back in a spot where he can't be shot through the chicken coop. Unless, of course, they get the right angle on it. 25 seconds left and the footsteps will be heard. This should be all the information gathered, and already a dink hit as well, leaving them low. But again, Issa peaks, he'll fall. He gives them a chance in this round. Angel looking for a little bit more, missing shots himself. However, the flashbang is utterly perfect, and it will be Hellraisers to take themselves a 6th round.
Great utility usage there by Woxic, saving the round. And Hellraisers bringing a few forward as well. Did Angel drop his gun and lose it? I think he did. That's awkward. But either way, 8-6 up. Hellraisers chance to pull it back to their 7th as well. Dark Tigers, no AWP, no weapon on 2C as well. He's down on a Deagle. Maybe a faster approach here from this T side. Could certainly lend itself to that with limited utility as well across a couple of these players. And they are just going to speed things up, but this time towards mid, not on B. This has been the site they've been more successful on, but deadfox already spotting the information. Nade going down to try and do damage. Molotov to follow up, but they're flashing over. He's blind. Woxic on the site gets one with the AWP, and deadfox is trying to hold the cross. A nice crossfire established from Hellraisers is denying Dark Tigers any opportunity to get towards the site, but Angel gives it away. He gets a frag, but trade back in. Dark Tigers, certainly an opportunity here to get something done. Caspen gonna only just avoid death. Nade going in doing more damage, and deadfox is low.
Yeah, the problem is they really need to clear these players out. Quick peek from Tom will pick up 2 and leave it into this flank from Issa, but it's perfectly timed. He's dropped the bomb into mid as well. And Bondik knows exactly where his opponent is. Simple frag to finish the half off. It will be 8-7, still in favor of Dark Tigers. However, they had a decent opportunity to take maybe even 10+ rounds.
Yeah, but I wouldn't turn your nose up at 8 if you're Dark Tigers. That's a pretty effective half. Again, coming into this map and matchup, and even event as massive underdogs with not a lot of LAN experience against some of the level of these teams. So I'm impressed at them, to be honest. I do share your worries, though, moving over to the CT side. Definitely going to be a hard half for them, with Hellraisers now being able to control the pace. And yes, we've had no one really stepping up and going crazy on this Hellraisers roster, but I feel like that if that is going to happen this game, it will happen on that second half. Definitely a worrying prospect for Dark Tigers moving over to their CT side. But let's see how well prepared they are. Let's see if they have anything to at least impress us, because so far their T side certainly has.
Yeah, not a bad T side at all, especially like after losing the initial pistol. Granted, they do manage to break back. I'm looking forward to seeing like if they can take the second pistol and get themselves really rolling on the CT side, not have the same sort of problems that Hellraisers had, where they were sort of losing enough players that their economy was always wrecked and never really got to see all that utility other than the sort of early portions of the game. But they can't do what they did on the T side. They can't just end up having like Galeals in there and sort of like having limitations, because that's where Hellraisers really will exploit them. That's where the aggression of this team is likely to really hurt them. So for Dark Tigers' sake, I'm hoping they get the pistol. I'm hoping they get off to a stronger start, and we at least get a game on our hands.
Well, we are back in second pistol round here. Hellraisers moving over to the T side. By kind of going to come through, bit of utility on deadfox, and nothing too crazy on this T side. But we've got a CZ, we've got a kit, we've got variants for Dark Tigers. I imagine we're going to see the CZ and drop down. More common spot to play with that gun, but instead actually it goes towards mid in danger. How'd that all work? Hellraisers working their way up towards the A site to kick things off already. They show some B control, but already falling back. EO, first kill of the round, traded straight away though by Bondik, and now Hellraisers looking to commit to the site.
They've at least slowed down this push a little bit. However, they only had that one man over towards the site. They have quickly rotated in, got on towards SWAT. Bondik still looking to lead the charge, but 2 quick kills for the CT side have now grind this to a halt. It is going to be all onto deadfox and Woxic. They've spotted the man on the site up above, and actually Beast is caught, another's caught as well, looking to turn the tide back. It's all left onto Woxic, who's got himself another kill. Him versus Tom. Bomb in control, Kit in control of Tom as well, so if the bomb does go down, he has a chance. Woxic peeks out, that's his opportunity, misses. It's just going to be waiting for the repeat, doesn't know where his opponent's gone. Again, so many shots being missed by either side, and Woxic is now tagged down to 31 HP. It still only takes 1 bullet to end what has been an atrocious fight, and he will eventually do it. Hellraisers just about take themselves a pistol, a 4v2 comeback as well. And Dark Tigers, well, They missed more than just shots. They missed a big opportunity.
Yeah, it's so aggressive from Dark Tigers. I'm not a fan of that. They get the first couple of kills on the site. They slow down the push in that 4v4 to the 4-on-2 that you say. And then we just continually see re-peeking coming out from the players on the site, the players up in the door, running into Woxic when he had that CZ. It's just, maybe it's nerves from Dark Tigers, but they shouldn't be giving away these kind of opportunities. Hellraisers going to take that away from you every single time, and now we have the buy coming through from both teams. Force up from the CT side, but already B-Stick dead down on long. Issa's shut him down with the Galil, and just going to get out of there with 14 points of health as well. Almost got shut down by the aggression of 2C, and now Hellraisers look to hit A once again. Flash through, he goes blind. Double kill coming in from Dead Fox, and no real issue. The local Hungarian for this team as well, opening up this round, and Hellraisers, they won't have a single problem with their second buy.
Yeah, a few low players. Tom with a chance to do a bit of damage, especially Bondic round the corner, rifle in hand. Could be handed over, and it will. Problem is, he's got players hunting him down. Woxic wanting this extra $600. Obviously, the AWP for the team, but actually Tom will take a second, so at least making things a little bit more costly, not allowing this to be flawless. And Issa's fairly low on HP as well. He will just be waiting round the corner, though, although if Tom checks this angle, has a chance. In fact, he may just fade back. Still, of course, trying to hold on to this Galil. Could drop the CZ over to somebody into the next round, and actually picked up a Molotov as well, which, although not great as just a single piece of utility, it can be fairly useful for clearing a couple of angles later in that next round. Either way, no chance for him to win it, of course. Hellraisers are going to be taking themselves a 9th and going into that next conversion round. We'll see if they can do similar to what Hellraisers did to them. Keep them low, keep them honest, and maybe have the chance to break back in the first buy.
Stage shut up there. Very nice, gotta say. Yeah, here is the full eco from Dark Tigers, the CZ thrown over, but other than that and the save Galil, we will not see a single pound of investment here from Dark Tigers. A chance for Hellraisers to find double digits and pull it back. After a bit of a worrying first half, things started to level out at the very least, and they are going to just be walking right up towards B in this one as well. Hellraisers looking to speed up the pace. Molotov's already in, clearing out stairs, all the close positions Dark Tigers can't play in. They've got to play from the sites, and with USPs, this is definitely not going to be an easy round for them. Already the first opening kill. Dead Fox going to find that. Bondic doubles down. Tom gets a frag, but it's to his teammate, and that's definitely not what you want.
Yeah, well, Woxic and Issa looking different today. If you go on their player cams, I think those might be the wrong way around. Close enough. I'm sure they won't mind. They seem like they get on quite well. Bondic, of course, his player cam always going to be useless because he sits so close to the monitor.
The Xantares of Ukraine.
He needs like one that like just sort of like sticks to the monitor itself. But yeah, that is not Issa.
No. Yeah, I was worried earlier. He was planting the bomb and he had his hands both like up in the air.
Yeah, it's like that is impressive.
Yeah, well done.
That's true skills. Actually an expert playing Counter-Strike with his feet.
Foot pedals, right?
Oh, God.
No utility here for Dark Tigers. That's one of the big things. Kits as well, lackluster on this CT side. We're only 20 seconds in, Tom, and they have no smokes left. It's just flashbangs.
I think they expected more in terms of like a risky buy from Hellraisers with SMGs, because 3 players have purchased up head armor just to try and counter that, but there aren't any. The only person that will affect will be Bondic with that Galil. Again, I don't think that's going to be a major detriment to them. Also, such a gamble over towards this B side. It's very heavy presence, and already the one man on A is going to go down. A nice entry frag from Dev Fox, starting things off strong. And, well, the CT side are yet to even rotate anybody. It's still just that hold on the door from Capson, but there's utility there. So I don't feel like there's going to be any problems at all for the T's to just continue this push. However, they're actually rotating the bomb back over towards this B site. Yeah,
and I don't blame them. Entry found from Bondic in the meantime. Angel dies on A, so they lose all that control. Dark Tigers finally realize what's going on, and the rotation will come through, but is it too late? 40 seconds up as Issa begins to push into the site. The flashbang again, blinding everyone here. Bondic doubles down. Issa can't hit his shot, does finally manage to get it. And that's Hellraisers with another one on the board. The buy going their way. 11-8, and exactly what we worried about coming into the second half, Tom. It's starting to fall out of control here for Dark Tigers.
Yeah, already 11-8 in favor of Hellraisers, and it is going to have to be just pistols once again. looking to try and do a bit of damage, of course, but with the T side able to keep a few of these rounds fairly clean. They've already built up a hefty bank, like 4,000 being the minimum. Tom will at least be able to start things off with an opener. It was obviously unable to be shown because it was such a dirty kill, but we'll have some aggression over towards long as well, which in terms of a retake could be fairly powerful for this CT side. 2 players currently in the back lines. Tom on the site as well, still with that trusty CZ, almost manages a second, but Angel will be there to trade. The flank from Capson doesn't actually do too much. Debfox will remove 1, but are they going to expect a second?
Yeah, Tusi already worked his way through the door, and there's one. Angel dead. Follow up from Tusi. 1 more shot needed, and he will get the damage, but not the kill. Woxer keeping things strong, but that's to change. It's now only Issa. As EEO comes up from long, it's going to be Issa and a 1-on-2. Bomb down in the site, all the time in the world to work with. He knows the angle as well. He's seen that first player, but does he expect the second one coming in from the back? He's wormed his way through the connector. Smoke to the door. He's probably just going to get pushed, turned around, and he will. B-Stick not going to get that frag, but EEO will. And it's a round for Dark Tigers out of absolutely nothing.
Yeah, once again, they managed to break a buy from Hellraisers using only pistols. We saw it in the second round of the first half, and this is a way for them to bounce straight back into this game. T-side, they had the opportunity to go for an AWP, but have decided against it, and the CTs have picked up 2. Now, this does limit them when it comes to utility. A couple of players will be with full, but the 2 AWPers with nothing, so much more of a pick-based play coming out from Dark Tigers, and with so many rifles over on the Hellraiser side, I'm somewhat expecting more of a faster execute setup from them, not really waiting for these picks. And if you look at the map at the moment, there's nobody even close to the A side. It's all over on B.
Yeah, full commitment potentially from Hellraisers early on into this round. Without a single lurk player as well, it probably removes the fact of them throwing nades towards B and just falling back, because then they'll have to try and regain all that map control the Dark Tigers could have gotten aggressive towards. However, they're just playing passive on the A-bomb site, but going to need to rotate pretty quickly as Hellraisers. They're definitely looking like they want to commit here. Already men walk down to the end of long. It's going to be Tom close. Sorry, B-Stick close to try and deal with this one. There's the push. Nice shot from Bondik on the opener. Even sees a second in the smoke, just going to try and wallbang him out of position. Deadfox follows up, and everyone on Hellraisers finding kills. There's been no response here from Dark Tigers. They're getting 1v1 in every single fight. And a 2-on-5, Tom. This round looks to be over once again.
Yeah, just the 2 AWPers unable to do anything in that scenario. Such a hefty investment and nothing achieved. And they still haven't done, well, now they have. They've done 12 points of damage in this round. Absolute decimation of this CT defense and their economy as well. They're going to be in real trouble in the next round. Only the 1,400 loss bonus to wipe their tears away. And, well, only this man here actually has any money left to try anything. Issa will decapitate him. And what a round from Hellraisers. Just, as said, a much sort of faster play over towards the site. And the CT's able to achieve nothing. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see them force here. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. 1,500 on the majority of players. AO has a little bit more, but this is a bleak, bleak time. It's, again, as said, one of the worst case scenarios for them. Only managing to win a round with 1 player surviving. Even if they were sort of saving money, it just leaves you in such a horrible spot.
And that buy will be coming through. So 1 rifle and 4 pistols here for Dark Tigers. Dark times, in fact. Hellraisers, so much money to play with now on this T side as well. Attack pause even cool. Definitely not a bad time to pull it in as well. We've seen these pauses from Dark Tigers actually be fairly effective in the sense that they seem to pick up the round every time they actually call in a pause, but Hellraisers not been requiring one so far.
But the other thing is as well is that they have been fairly decent with the pistols, so... But they need this round. That's the thing. This is a force buy. They lose this one, we're looking at 13-9. Then they've got nothing, so 14-9. And at that point, I feel like the Hellraisers will just run over them. We've already seen just in the previous round the sheer level of just confidence to just run straight into that B site, take the fights, and win every single one. Bear in mind, in terms of the play that they went for, they were up against a double AWP setup, so to not even take a single pick in the other direction is actually very, very scary indeed. CT side, they're going to go for a somewhat standard setup, just a couple of players over towards A. Fairly aggressive spots, but that's obviously because they've only got the 1 rifle and needs to try and make a play. Quick trade. A will actually be able to find a second, and the bomb is dropped just out side of this A site. Individual battle of Issa over towards B will actually turn the man advantage back into an even scenario, and the weaponry just favoring this T side. So much aggression from AO is eventually caught, and well, that leaves it on to just Tom. It looks like Hellraisers have broken this force spike. Fact is, the bomb is actually rotating towards his position, so maybe there's a chance Medissa cleans things up. 3 kills for him in this round, 13-9 to Hellraisers, and while there's nothing to be invested in this round for Dark Tigers.
Yeah, usually not a round you expect to win, really. You know that if you go for that buy and then throw in an eco, you will have the full buy coming up in the round after. The issue is,
look at the money.
It's 13-9, yeah, and Dark Tigers have to concede another round with really nothing to play with. The CZ is it. So a potential 14-9 scoreline before we even see another buy from the CT side, and this one will be pretty quick as well. Concise from Woxic, 3 kills there. Angel and Dead Fox going to follow up. That is going to be Hellraiser's 14th round with not too much sweat either. It's Dark Tigers now on one of their last opportunities, Tom, to keep himself in this first map.
Yeah, this is still not the buy they want to be going for as well. We saw them, when they had the money, attempt to go for a double orb setup. It didn't work, granted, but that was what they were aiming for. They don't have a kit, they don't have any incendiaries, and by the looks of things, the pace is going to be picked up once again. Issa just running straight towards his plant position. He's not wasting any time. He already spots the man over towards the tree. Not mucking about in this round. Entry comes in, and now Dead Fox, he's looking to go in with him. This is just another round of cleanup. Finally, Tom will be able to trade one back, but he's now the only defense of this B site, and wrapping back around, Issa's going to catch him as well. The disrespect from Hellraisers, they're done with this game. They are done.
Yeah, and Dark Tigers look to be done as well. One man left up, stuck in the connector, and probably not for too much longer as well. Hellraisers already beginning to chase. They've got a man on the back coming in through the A site. Already men in the connector trying to get this job done. EO with 1, no more. And that's Bondic with a big round as well. 2 from him, 2 from Issa, and 15 from Hellraisers. They are 1 away from picking up this first map.
See, those are the sort of plays that just ruin any sort of tactical pause that you were going for. Because you clearly could see there the Dark Tigers are, okay, we'll boost this player up onto the tree, then we'll have to set up the nice overlook, and it's like, okay, I've got onto the tree, dead. Like, Issa just didn't even give them a chance to think about what they were going to do in that round, and it definitely seems on this T side, he's exploded into life. Even across the board, it's just been a strong performance.
And that's what we wanted as well, right? In the first half, there was no one really looking, fantastic for this Hellraisers team. They were all just kind of only just pulling their weight, if that. And now T-side, they've just been given all the room in the world, and they've been exploiting it. So no issue. But yeah, not even just a single star performer. Everyone putting up frags. We've got, not much disparity between the top and bottom fragger on this team. So that's always nice to see. 21 kills being the max at the moment.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I was talking about when it comes to a map like Cobblestone. Like, Bondic not necessarily thought of as the star for this Hellraisers team, but this is a map that he likes to play. 21-10. The buy coming in from the CT side is a bleak one. They've gone with CZs alongside a Mag 7 and the Deagle. Now, in terms of any map, I feel like Cobble is definitely one where the Mag 7 can come into play. You got drop, you got broken wall, and even if you're Snacks playing over towards that sort of close A position on long, but already that's so unfortunate. Tag through the door, Angel knocks one down to just 20 HP, and by the looks of things, he has no fear at the moment, catches out one. EO does at least a decent amount of damage back in return, but look at the long control already taken by this T-side. They know that there's going to be a man close to this smoke, and, well, Dead Fox actually just pushes in. There's nothing that they can really do, already taking down another man over towards this A site. It's a long walk back for Angel to actually retrieve the bomb. With a 2-man advantage, the A site completely under their control. The only thing that can get in their way is AO, and the problem is he doesn't actually know that his position is so much more valuable. He does wait back, he spots out Issa, does a lot of damage, but there's a second player just around the corner, and the bomb is still going to be making its way towards this site. Angel catches him as well. If the kill goes the other way, there's a chance for Dark Tigers, but now Tom, Max 7, retake. I can't say I believe.
I wouldn't criticize you for that claim either. This is not going to be an easy round, and he's already met the first man. The damage not coming through at range of the Mag 7. Got to look for a closer angle, but with the orb, he might be able to do at least that. First frag coming in. 3 more needed, but Bondic's coming in from the back line. He has no idea, no time, no kit, no utility. He will hear this flank coming through, but Angel on the site will get it done. Hellraisers first map taken, 16-9. That second half didn't even look close.
No, yeah, that was the thing. It was like the CT side, it looked a little bit sketchy. There was some sort of economy issues, and we're like, okay, but